Hey everyone, this is an introduction to Mage raid healing in Season of Discovery Phase 1. I'm going to start out by explaining Mage talents. We're going to move on to the ruins, and then finish it off with the raid rotation that you'll be expected to be using for healing. For talents, 10 points are basically locked in, 2 points in Arcane Subtlety, 3 points into Arcane Focus, and 5 points into Arcane Concentration. The reason why you only need 3 points in Arcane Focus is because for some reason in Season of Discovery, the max spell hit needed for bosses is 6%. From here, there are a few common talent trees you could go. This one takes Arcane Explosion and Wand Spec, super straightforward. This one takes 5 points in Magic Absorption, possibly recommend if you're having difficulties on Kelrus. And this one maxes out Arcane Missiles if you feel like you're just spamming Arcane Missiles when you're doing solo content. Honestly, it's up to you. All of the talents I've shown off take 1 point in Arcane Meditation. It's really low in terms of mana regen, but it's better than anything else in my opinion, so that's what I go with. For ruins, on most fights you're going to be going Arcane Blast, Living Flame, and Regeneration. How Mage Healing works is you cast Regeneration on somebody, it then applies the Temporal Beacon to them, and heals them over the next 3 seconds. The beacon lasts 30 seconds, and any arcane damage you do over that duration will apply as healing to that target. You can have multiple beacons up at once, so if you cast Regeneration on 3 people and then start using arcane damage, it will heal all 3 people in your raid. Most of your arcane damage is going to be coming from Arcane Blast. It has a special mechanic that increases its mana cost every time it's used. We'll get more into that in the rotation part of the guide coming up soon. But this is going to be your core ability while raiding for damage, as well as turning that damage into healing. The final rune that I recommend for raid healing is actually Living Flame. It does a bunch of damage, and that damage counts as arcane for healing. So in any AoE situation, it's going to be insane damage, insane healing. In single target, it's still a good amount of damage and healing. It gives you a heal over time, essentially. And what it is replacing is a rune that I'm going to talk about right now called Mass Regeneration. This rune is an alternative to Living Flame if your raid group is having difficulty taking raid-wide damage. It applies Temporal Beacon to 5 members of your raid, as well as heals them over time while you're channeling it. It is fairly good, but in BFD I find that it's not needed. If your players are doing everything right, which, unlikely, but if you do find a good group, high DPS, etc., there isn't a lot of raid-wide damage happening. So I would recommend only running this if you really think you need to, otherwise Living Flame is the go-to. Moving on to rotation, you're going to want to regen on your tank and then cast Arcane Blast twice. The next step in this chain is basically up to you. If you're low on mana, / you don't have a large mana pool, you might actually want to wand twice until the Arcane Blast debuff falls off, and then go back to Arcane Blasting. If you're fine on mana, you can just cast Arcane Missiles for more damage. This will also clear the Arcane Blast debuff, allowing you to instantly cast Arcane Blast again. If your Temporal Beacon on the tank is going to fall off, or if somebody else needs healing, now is a good time to cast Regeneration on them, clearing your Arcane Blast debuff, allowing you to then swap back into Arcane Blasting again. So once you're done with any of these 3 paths, it's going to repeat over and over again. You're going to go back to Arcane Blasting twice. You can go up to 3 times or 4 times if you have a ton of mana, but it honestly doesn't matter. Pretty simple. You can use Living Flame at any point in this rotation. You can use it at the start of the fight in order to get as many off in the duration of a fight as possible. You can save it for an AoE portion of a fight, or you can save it when the tank is taking a ton of damage and you need extra healing. That's up to you. You can get a feel for it. Honestly, I'm a big fan of this rotation. I've never healed before. I've never played a mage before. Season of Discovery is my first time kind of jumping into it. And this is so much fun, honestly. This I think is a ton better than just casting Frostbolt. So if you're a mage who's returning from Classic, from Vanilla, whatever, give it a go. Honestly, it's my favorite part of the mage class so far. We'll see what the new runes are for Frost and Fire in Phase 2 and Phase 3. But I'm definitely looking at just mage healing all the way up to 60. I'll probably do more videos when we hit new phases, or if anything new comes out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Having a great time at Season of Discovery. Hopefully you guys are too, and I will catch you in the next one.